Hey everyone, it is Tanya. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you are new here. Today I'm back with another apartment renovation, and I am renovating Pinecrest Apartments number 402 in Evergreen Harbor. The idea behind this apartment is I really wanted to create a space that was specifically for a woodworker. We've had the woodworking bench since the base game came out in 2014, and I don't think I've ever done this concept before, at least not in an apartment. I feel like I've done maybe a cabin with outdoor retreat, so I thought it would be really fun, especially because the artist studio kit that came out last year added a new woodworking bench, and I just feel like I've been really inspired to do more creative spaces ever since Businesses and Hobbies came out. So I really hope you're gonna like this apartment. If you do and you'd like to download it, it is available right now in the Sims 4 gallery. You can find it under my EA ID, which is Gryphi, Gryphi. You could also find it under the hashtag Gryphi, and that information will be in the description down below as well. Also, I just wanted to let you know that there is a massive spring sale going on right now on the EA app. You can save up to 50% on select packs like Growing Together, Horse Ranch, For Rent, and more for half price. And some of the newest packs are on sale too. Love Struck is 38% off, and Life and Death is 25% off. The sale is from now until March 27th, so if you've been thinking about picking anything up, now is a great time to do so. And if you do, please consider using my code Gryphi at checkout. It doesn't cost you anything extra, it's just another way to support me as a creator, as I get a 5% commission on your purchase. Thank you in advance if you decide to use my code, and thanks to EA for sponsoring this portion of the video. So I started with the kitchen, and I knew I really wanted to use these industrial countertops that have the butcher block. I just think they are so perfect, especially for a space that I imagine a woodworker is living in. They might have made the countertops, or maybe they're just very useful for working on their craft. My uncle has his own wood shop in the basement of where he lives, and I was definitely inspired by some of the items he has, but I guess I wanted it to feel a little bit cleaner and put together for the main living space, as it's not in a basement or in its own separate room. It's just in the kitchen and living room area, as this is a pretty small apartment, so I tried to keep that in mind. Luckily in The Sims it doesn't actually make a mess. In real life there'd be sawdust absolutely everywhere, which would probably be very bad to be right next to the kitchen. But luckily this is The Sims. I did the same general idea a couple of weeks ago when I created an apartment for a ceramist or a potter because of getting the new pottery skill, and it was very open to the rest of the apartment as well, but I really liked having that creative space kind of spill into everything else. So that's why I decided to do that. But over here, I am starting to work on the living room. I kind of bounce between these three areas quite a bit since they're all in one room, and I wanted to make sure everything worked together well. So I ended up actually using these new sofas that came with Businesses and Hobbies because they fit in this space really nicely, and they had the same wood tone. I mostly use this orangey wood tone throughout. There are a couple of things that aren't because I just think it's realistic. And this is where I'm going to start working on the woodworking bench area. So I have this shelf of books above it. I was imagining the Sim Crafted. There ends up also being another shelf that I put a bunch of items that you actually can craft with the woodworking bench on. I loved this other little shelf, lots of shelves in the kitchen that actually is from Tiny Living. I just think it's so cute, and I feel like some of the items in here that I end up placing look like maybe they made them when they were just getting started with this hobby or career, and some of them are more elaborate after they were a bit more established and better at the skill. But here above the woodworking bench, I have a little kitty with yarn. There's a man up there. I also grabbed some tools they could use, and these really cute wooden hearts, which are from Outdoor Retreat. I thought that those worked nicely, and I did get some plants in here as well just to liven it up. The main colors I used were this orangey wood tone, a green, browns, blacks, and beiges. And overall, I'm really, really happy with how this build came out. It was really fun to do, especially because when it comes to creative builds for creative careers, I feel like I always do artists, painters. I've done graphic designer quite a few times because that's what I do. I've done interior design, but like I mentioned, I don't think I've done a woodworking apartment before, so this was just really different and a fun one to go for. So if you have any suggestions of other apartments you would like to see for specific careers or hobbies, definitely let me know because I would be so down to do some more. Anyway, I am just placing down some magazines and a really cute dragon sculpture on the coffee table, and then we should be moving into the kitchen to continue with the decorations. Of course, I have cutting boards in here. I also grabbed some canisters in the corner that have wooden lids. I imagine this spice rack was probably created by this sim, and I was just trying to pick a lot of items that were made out of wood that could be simple projects that the sim put together, since depending on what sim you create, they might not be too established in their career or their skill level yet. So I wanted to have a variety. I also have this really cool sort of coat rack in the entryway from Horse Ranch. I will be rotating that a little bit later and adding some clothes hanging on it, but right now I'm just moving stuff around, deciding which ones of these items I want to use. I thought about using this knife rack and I can't remember if I kept it in the end or not. I know I got rid of one of the items at some point because it felt a little bit too cluttered and I'm not sure which one. Anyway, I do get a dishwasher in here, which is an item I often forget to add. I don't know why that is, because in real life, I love a dishwasher. I need a dishwasher. I don't know how I would get by without it. I mean, I know how I would. It's just very annoying to not. I really despise cleaning dishes. Anyway, the island here, I did place down a bowl of fruit and a place for your sim to use the laptop. And then above the woodworking bench, I did put a couple of like scratches and tears in the wall. I imagine things occasionally don't go as planned and you like nick things up. That's just the nature of woodworking. And I would love to know if any of you do any of that in real life, whether it's a current passion or maybe you did a little bit of that in school. I know I did woodshop in like middle school, and then I have done some stuff as an adult, just not too much. It's not like my cup of tea personally, but I do think it's really cool. And it was so fun to imagine this as a hobby in game. And so with that, I actually ended up putting this mirror over in the entryway. It is from Outdoor Retreat, and it looks like it was created with just a couple of pieces of wood nailed together. So I rotated it with the tool mod, so it is more of a vertical mirror, and I thought it looked so nice in the entryway here. And then over on this wall, I just was remembering to grab a trash can. I often forget them in my builds, so I just wanted to make sure I grabbed that. And then I also ended up using this piece of furniture as a TV stand. I think it's meant to be a TV stand. It's from Horse Ranch. It's a little bit of a different style than some of the other things in this apartment. I feel like there's a few different styles going on here, but I really liked that. As I was imagining, the sim is probably experimenting with what sort of furniture and items they're creating. So I did that. I also ended up adding this pot rack on the side of the fridge using the tool mod. It's another piece that I feel like looks like it could have been created by the sim with the chunks of wood that the pots are hanging off of. I just thought that was so cool, and I got some more shelves over here. There are a lot of shelves in this apartment. If you like them, this is definitely the apartment for you. And then over here, I just got a frame for you to add some photos into and a light above it. And then we should be entering into the bedroom here shortly. The hallway just has a bookcase and a rug. It's very simple. And then I'm moving these windows that I have in the living room into the bedroom as well. These are new windows that came with businesses and hobbies, and I really, really like them. I also love this green wallpaper that I'm using. It's not from the new pack. It's just a really nice shade. And I thought I was going to use this bed from the Industrial Loft kit, but I didn't end up keeping it in the end. Although I do really like this blue color, so I will probably create an apartment sometime soon based around this swatch, because I don't think I've used it before. But I do end up actually using an eco lifestyle bed, which I heavily use in this apartment. Then again, this world came with eco lifestyle, so it makes sense. But I feel like this bed frame looks like it could have been crafted, and same thing with the comforter on the bed. So that's what I decided to grab. And then we're just going to be cluttering up our bedside tables here and getting some lamps up above it. I used the same sconce that I used in the living room. I thought it worked out pretty nice. And then, of course, just getting a place to put glasses and watches, a couple of books. I believe I get a little plant, probably some tissues, things like that. Pretty simple bedside table decor, but realistic things that I felt like matched the rest of the apartment. And I've been loving this plant. I believe it's from the Refined Living Room kit. And it's just so nice. And I'm very excited about the fact that we're getting some new plants in the next kit that's coming out, which is sometime next month. There's a bathroom kit coming out. I believe that's in collaboration with Cibolette. And there are 2 plants in it, and they look beautiful. I cannot wait to get my hands on those. That's going to be so fun. Anyway, over here, I did add a full-length mirror and an ottoman in front of the window. And then I'm just going to be getting a couple more decorations on the walls. I believe I get a painting and another like wood carved item. And the one I actually end up grabbing is an elephant, and it's so intricate and beautiful. I was really excited about it. It's not an item I use very often. I believe I used it in the thrift store build I posted last week. But other than that, I don't know if I've ever used it. So it was kind of fun to use it again here. And then we are heading on into the bathroom, the final room in here. And at first I grabbed this shower tub combo from Growing Together, but I actually swapped it out for the base game one in the end just because I felt like it matched a little bit better. And I loved this vanity from Horse Ranch. I love the green on the bottom and the orangey wood. I just thought it was really cute and cozy. And of course I had to add the shelving above the toilet that came with Tiny Living. I love this item, and it just made a lot of sense for a woodworker. But that is pretty much it for this build. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. You can also subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more, and click that bell to be notified when I upload. And thank you to my YouTube members for all of your support. If you'd like to become a member yourself, you can click the join button below the video or the link in the description. Enjoy the screenshots, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye, everyone.